Morning arrived quietly in Vellora, not with noise, but with breath. The fog moved like a living thing, slow, careful, watching. Roofs vanished, streets faded. Even the mountains seemed to hide their faces. And somewhere inside that mist, truth was walking. Arman stood by the window of the guest house, his hand resting on the glass. His reflection stared back at him, older than his years, heavier than yesterday. My brother is alive. The words still didn't feel real. But they wouldn't leave him either. Behind him, Lina folded her scarf and slipped it around her neck. She didn't ask questions anymore. She could see the answers in his eyes. Where do we start? She asked gently. Arman turned. Where the wind points. They walked without maps, without plans, only with instinct, and with the quiet belief that the town was guiding them. Footsteps echoed behind them, but faint, too soft to be sure, too steady to be imagined. Lina slowed. So do you hear that too? She whispered. Arman stopped. The sound stopped too. Fog swallowed everything. Someone's following us, Lina said. Arman didn't turn. I know. Fear did not rush in. It waited, like someone who already knew where this story was going. Arman reached for Lina's hand, not tightly but firmly, not to pull her, but to promise. You are not alone. They moved again, this time slower. Listening. The wind brushed past them and carried a whisper, not a voice, direction. The bridge had no name, but it remembered everything. Every foot that crossed it, every secret that paused there. Arman stopped in the middle. On the stone railing lay something folded. Paper. He picked it up. Lina leaned close. The handwriting was familiar. You are closer than you think. But so am I. No signature. Only a small mark. A symbol Arman recognized from his brother's old notebook. His hand trembled. He's alive, Lina whispered. Someone wants you to know. And someone doesn't want me to find him, Arman replied. The fog moved. And for 1 second, just one, a shape stood at the end of the bridge. Watching. Then gone. Lina gasped softly. Arman stepped forward, but there was only mist. No footprints. No sound. Only the wind, laughing quietly. His brother used to say, if I disappear, follow the wind. It always knows where I go. Back then it was a joke. Now it was a map. Lina felt his pain before he spoke it. She used to say you were brave, Lina said softly. Maybe she was right. But you don't have to be brave alone. Arman looked at her. In all this mystery, she had become his one certainty. Not by promise, not by words, but by presence. The bridge was behind them now. But the chase had begun. Somewhere in Vellora, a man was hiding. A truth was waiting. And a shadow was watching. The wind blew stronger. And this time it wasn't gentle. It was urgent. Vellora did not reveal its secrets quickly. Tested hearts first. And as Arman and Lina walked forward, they didn't know yet. This search would not only uncover a brother, it would awaken enemies, and force love to choose courage. The wind whispered once more. Not a warning. Promise. The street ended where memory began. Stone walls leaned inward as if listening. The fog moved carefully, hiding and revealing in slow breath. At the end of the lane stood a door. Dark, marked with symbols that did not belong to any language Arman knew. Yet somehow he felt he had seen them before. This is where the wind stopped, Lina whispered. And when the wind stops, means something is holding its breath. Arman traced one symbol with his eyes. It matched a drawing from his brother's notebook, a mark he once asked about. His brother had smiled and said, some doors are not meant to be opened. But some are waiting for the right hands. Arman swallowed. Lina. This symbol, my brother used it. Fear touched her eyes. But it did not stay. If your brother left this behind, she said, then it means he wanted you to find it. Her voice did not shake. But her hand found Arman's again. Man slowly reaching for old metal door handle. Fog around, suspenseful cinematic lighting, 16:9. Narration. The handle was cold. Not from night air, but from waiting too long. Arman paused. Every story has a moment when it can still turn back. This was theirs. He looked at Lina. She nodded. He turned the handle. The door opened like it had been expecting them. Inside, silence, and the smell of time. A single beam of light cut through the darkness and landed on a table. On the table lay a notebook. Arman's breath stopped. "That's his," he whispered. "I know his handwriting. I know his paper. I know his silence." Arman opened it slowly. The first page read, "If you're reading this, you didn't forget me." His hand shook. The next line, "I am alive, but I am not free." Lina read over his shoulder. "What does that mean?" she whispered. "It means he's trapped," Arman said. "Or hiding. Or both. He used to write when he was scared. When he didn't know how to speak. That notebook held his voice. And now, it was asking to be heard again." A loose page slipped out. Lina caught it. And it was a map. Not of roads, but of buildings. One of them was circled. "And this," Lina said softly, "is not far from here." The light at the door dimmed. Not because of clouds, because something moved in front of it. Arman closed the notebook. "Someone knows we're here," he said. And for the first time, the town felt like it was watching them back. They didn't run. But they didn't stay either. Some doors opened to truth. Some opened to danger. And some opened to both. The wind followed them again. Not guiding now. Warning. They walked faster, not looking back. But listening. Fog swallowed their footsteps. Yet another sound followed them. Not wind. Not leaves. Not silence. A step. Too steady to be chance. Too careful to be friendly. Arman tightened his grip on the notebook under his coat. "This town has too many ears," Lina whispered. "And too many shadows," he replied. She turned her head slowly. Lantern light. Nothing else. But the feeling stayed. Fear doesn't always show its face. Sometimes it just breathes near you. A shape moved where no one should be. Arman saw it. He stopped. The footsteps stopped too. "Who's there?" he called. Only fog answered. He felt it then. That old feeling from childhood. The sense that someone knew more than they were saying. That something was watching, waiting. Lina stepped beside him. "We should go to the inn," she said. "Crowds are safer than secrets." Inside, voices wrapped around them like blankets. Laughter. Cups clinking. Fire cracking. But safety is sometimes only noise pretending to protect you. Arman scanned the room. Every face looked ordinary. And that was what worried him. An old man sat alone. Not drinking. Not speaking. Just watching. When Arman looked at him, the man smiled. Not kindly. Not cruelly. Like someone who already knew the ending. "Trust people who look afraid," his brother once said. "Not the ones who look calm. 'Cause calm can mean hiding. And hiding can mean danger." The old man stood. Every movement slow. Every step heavy with meaning. He passed near their table. And whispered. "The door you opened does not forget." Then he walked out. Her fingers tightened. "They know," she said. "They know about the notebook." Arman nodded. "And now," he said quietly, "they know about us." They stepped back into fog. But now it felt heavier. Like it carried secrets they weren't meant to hear. And somewhere inside it, someone was walking again. Every path leaves a mark. Every secret leaves a shadow. And tonight, they were no longer alone in the dark. The guest house stood like it always had. Quiet. Watching. But tonight, its silence felt heavier. Arman unlocked the door slowly. The hinge whispered as if it didn't want to wake the walls. Lina stepped in behind him, holding her coat tight. "Does this place feel different?" she asked. He nodded. "Like it's remembering something." They walked past doors that had held other lives. Other voices. Other secrets. Each step echoed too loudly. And somewhere upstairs, something creaked. Arman stopped. This door. He hadn't noticed it before. No number. No name. Just a lock, thick, rusted, stubborn. Was this here yesterday? Lina asked. I don't think so, he said. Or maybe. He just hadn't been ready to see it. The innkeeper appeared, saw them near the door, and froze. You shouldn't stand there, he said quickly. Some rooms are better left quiet. What's inside? Lina asked. The man swallowed. Old things. And then he hurried away. The metal was cold. Too cold. Arman felt it move slightly, as if the door itself was breathing. He pulled his hand back. Whatever's behind this, he said. It's connected. To the notebook? Lina asked. To my brother, he replied. In his memory, his brother stood before a door. Not this door, but one that felt the same. Some answers don't want to be found, his brother had said. But they won't stop calling. Then he stepped inside. And never came back. She felt his breath change. Low. Heavy. Whatever you're chasing, she said softly. You don't have to chase it alone. He looked at her. And for the first time, the fear in his eyes was not only about the past. It was about losing her too. The lock moved. Just a little. Enough to prove it wasn't imagination. They stepped back. The hallway felt narrower. The air felt thick. Tomorrow, Arman said. We come back in daylight. Tomorrow, Lina agreed. But neither believed daylight would make it safer. As they walked away, the door stayed silent. But silence is sometimes louder than sound. 'Cause it waits. And whatever was behind that lock, it had been waiting a long time. Morning arrived quietly. Not with noise. Not with rush. But with light. Lina woke before the town. Before the bells. Before the wind learned what it wanted to say today. She sat up slowly, feeling the stillness of the room. Something felt different. Not wrong. Just unfamiliar. She reached for her journal on the table. And froze. It was open. She never left it open. The page was filled. Not with her words. Not with her voice. The handwriting was careful. Low. Almost afraid. She read. If you're reading this, then you can hear the wind too. Some of us never leave Vellora. We only become part of it. Her breath caught. She hadn't written this. She was sure. The room was locked. She always locked it. No footsteps outside. No voices. No sign of anyone else. Her heart began to beat louder than the town ever did. Who touched her journal? And why? She turned the page. More words. Some people come to heal. Some come to hide. Some come because they are called. Another page. The man with the camera is closer than he knows. But truth is heavier than memory. Her fingers trembled. The man with the camera. Arman. She didn't stop to dress carefully. Didn't fix her hair. Didn't wait for calm. To walk. West. Through streets that suddenly felt too narrow. Too watchful. The wind brushed her face. And for the first time she didn't like the way it felt. Arman was near the bridge. Taking photos of nothing in particular. Light on stone. Fog on water. Shadows that moved like memory. She called his name. He turned. And saw fear in her eyes. She held the journal out. I didn't write this, she said. He read slowly. Carefully. His face changed with every line. This isn't your voice, he said. No, she whispered. But it knows us. The wind moved the page. Just enough to reveal something written in smaller letters below. The locked room remembers him. Arman felt his chest tighten. My brother, he said quietly. She looked at him. And suddenly, this wasn't only her fear. It was theirs. Arman remembered his brother's handwriting. Careful. Low. Almost afraid. This was his brother's hand. But the pages were new. The ink was fresh. How can this be his? Lina asked. He disappeared 2 years ago, Arman said. But maybe he never left. Lina felt the weight of the pages. Not paper. Not ink. But memory. Why me? She asked. Arman looked at her gently. Because you listen, he said. And this town speaks only to those who do. They sat without words. The river moved below them, slow and patient. I came here to forget, Lina said. Now I feel like I'm being asked to remember. Arman looked at the water. I came to find someone, he said. But now I think I'm being found. Their hands rested close. Not touching, but close enough to feel warmth. Whatever was happening, whatever was calling them, it had tied their paths together. Not by choice, but by need. The wind rose. Not gently, not kindly. It moved like a warning. Like a voice that had waited too long to be heard. Lina whispered, I think the town wants us to open that door. Arman nodded slowly. And I think, he said, whatever's behind it wrote this journal. They walked back side by side. Not as strangers, not as travelers, but as two people being pulled toward the same truth. The journal was no longer just paper. It was a map. And every line pointed toward the locked room. The door waited. It always had. And now, it knew they were coming. The hallway was quieter than the rest of the town. No wind. No footsteps. No breath except their own. Lina walked slowly. Arman beside her. Each step felt louder than it was. At the end of the hallway stood the door. Not grand. Not broken. Just old. And waiting. The handle was worn smooth by years of hands. Hands that had come. Hands that had left. And hands that perhaps never did. Lina reached toward it. Then stopped. What if we're not ready? She whispered. Arman looked at her. I don't think this door opens for ready people, he said. I think it opens for needed ones. Her hand touched the wood. It was warmer than she expected. Not cold like something forgotten, but warm, like something that remembered. The door did not move. Not yet. Then the wind came. Not strong. Not loud. Just enough to move the air between them. The door made a sound. Not a creak. Breath. And slowly. It opened. Inside was darkness. Not empty. Not silent. Darkness full of waiting. Arman stepped first. Lina followed. The door closed behind them. Not with force. With decision. The room was not abandoned. It was paused. Sketches on walls. Notes on tables. Photographs pinned like memories that refused to fall. Arman froze. These are his, he whispered. His brother's handwriting. His brother's drawings. His brother's eyes. In every photograph. Lina touched one photograph. Showed the bridge. The same bridge where they had sat. Below it written. They will come. One who listens. One who looks. Her throat tightened. He was waiting for us, she said. Arman swallowed. But why? Arman found a letter inside a book. His brother's name was written on the cover. His hands shook as he opened it. If you are reading this, then I am no longer where I was. But I am where I was needed. Arman's eyes burned. You didn't leave, he whispered. You stayed for this. His brother stood alone, writing, listening. The wind moved the papers. And he smiled, not in happiness, but in understanding. Lina read another note. Vellora does not trap people. It keeps the ones who choose to listen for others. She looked at Arman. Maybe he didn't disappear, she said. Maybe he became part of the town. Arman sat. The weight of 2 years fell into one moment. Anger, grief, relief, all together. He could have come back, he said. He could have told me. Lina knelt beside him. Maybe he did, she said softly. Through the wind. Through the notes. Through us. The wind moved the papers. Not wildly. Carefully. One page slid to Lina's feet. She picked it up. It read. You are not here by accident. Neither of you. Her eyes lifted to Arman. This isn't just his story, she said. It's becoming ours. They stood side by side. Not as visitors. Not as strangers. But as part of something larger than both of them. The door had not just opened a room. It had opened a path. One that led through memory. And into what was still waiting to be healed. As they stepped out, the door closed again. Not to hide the room, but to protect it. Lina held the journal tightly. Arman held the letter. And both felt the same truth. Vellora was not finished with them. Not yet. The wind moved across the town. Not whispering now, but speaking. And for the first time, they were ready to listen. Evening folded itself gently over Vellora. The sky dimmed to soft gray. Lanterns bloomed like quiet stars along the streets. Arman and Lina walked side by side. Neither spoke. Some discoveries were too heavy for words. Their footsteps echoed softly. Tone, tone, tone. For the first time, Arman noticed how closely their steps matched. Not planned, just a natural. Then Arman stopped. Lina almost collided into him. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. She listened. Silence. Another step. Not theirs. Behind them. They turned. The street stood empty. Lanterns swayed. Wind brushed against walls. No one. "Maybe it was just the wind," Lina said. But her voice wasn't convinced. Arman's chest tightened. The same feeling. The same weight. The same invisible presence he'd felt since arriving. "This town doesn't always show who's walking with you," he said quietly. A shadow moved across the wall. Not theirs. Too tall. Too slow. Then it vanished. Lina grabbed his arm. "Arman, someone is here." His brother walked alone. Same street. Same fog. He turned suddenly. Called out. No answer. Only the sound of steps behind him. Steps that never caught up. But never stopped. Lina pulled him close into a doorway. Their breathing filled the small space. Fast. Uneven. Close. Too close to fear. The street was empty again. Like nothing had happened. Like no one had followed. But the silence now was different. Thicker. Listening. Lina realized her hand still held his sleeve. She didn't let go. "Your brother wasn't alone when he disappeared, was he?" she asked. Arman shook his head slowly. "No." They stepped back into the street. Together. Not side by side. Closer now. As if distance itself had become unsafe. Wind slid a piece of paper to their feet. Arman picked it up. 3 words written. "You are seen." Lina's breath caught. "That's not comforting," she whispered. "No," Arman said. "It's a warning." His hand trembled. Not from fear alone, but from certainty. They were no longer just visitors. They were part of something unfolding. And something in Vellora had noticed. They walked on. Their shadows merging. Their steps becoming one rhythm. Behind them. The town listened. And somewhere. Another pair of footsteps followed. Not fading. Not yet. From above, Vellora looked peaceful. Lights like scattered stars. Streets like thin silver lines. But peace can hide many things. Arman and Lina stood at the edge of the hill. Neither spoke. They felt it again. That presence. Lina broke the silence. "Why does it feel like someone always knows where we are?" Arman answered slowly. "Because someone does." The wind moved through the grass. Not wild. Directed. Like it was guiding something. Or someone. Then they saw it. Figure. Not close. Not far. Standing where the light could not reach. Watching. The figure did not move. Did not speak. Did not hide. It stood like it belonged to the night itself. Lina whispered. "That's not just someone passing." Arman stepped forward. Not toward danger. Toward truth. "Who are you?" he called. The wind carried his voice. But brought no answer back. His brother stood once in the same place. Same ridge. Same silence. Same unseen watcher. "Some truths need guardians," his brother had said. Then he walked into the fog. And never returned. Lina pulled him back. "This is not something you face alone," she said. Her voice shook. Not from weakness. From care. The figure turned. Low. Deliberate. Then walked into the fog. As if saying, "Not yet." The fog swallowed the place where it had stood. No sign, no sound, no proof, only memory, and fear, and purpose. Lina leaned against him. Just for a moment. Not in weakness, in trust. If your brother followed that, she said, then we are walking the same road. Arman nodded. And this time, he said, no one walks it alone. The wind passed behind them, not whispering now, watching, waiting, like the town itself. They walked back down, toward light, toward danger, toward answers. Together, where the figure had stood, a footprint remained, not fading, not human enough, and definitely not gone.